15 things you didn't know about the United Kingdom. As explorers, you're expected to know something about almost everything and most places. The United Kingdom is famous enough that you certainly know a lot of things about this nation of the King and home of the Commonwealth. Not everything about the country is always the stiff upper lip. At least you know that the country called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, also known as Britain, is made up of 4 different countries. You surely know its geographical location off Europe's northwestern coast and many of its small islands. However, we bet there are facts about the UK that might be strange to you. This video discusses 15 things you didn't know about the United Kingdom. 15. Controlled drinking in an English bar. No, the UK doesn't prohibit drinking in public, unlike some countries in the East. You're allowed to relax on a few drinks in pubs or bars across the country. However, you are forbidden from getting drunk. The law is stiffer in Scotland. You're on the wrong side of the law if you get drunk. Could it be one of the reasons it's illegal to sell alcohol to anyone under 18? Of course, children of even younger age can be allowed to drink under their parental guide and at home. 14. The Tube. Is there anything you didn't know about the Tube? OK, did you know that in London, the route from Leicester Square to Covent Garden on the Tube is the most popular for tourists? The irony, however, is that this distance can be covered on foot quicker. Here's another thing. You surely know that the London Tube system is the world's first and largest underground system. Yet, did you know that it's also the most unreliable? That it's also the costliest? In one more interesting thing, every week the 409 escalators in the London subway collectively cover a total distance equivalent to many trips around the globe. 13. Royal Eccentrics. There are several facts about the UK, very many royal eccentricities. Let's start with the Windsor Castle itself. Did you know that it's the oldest royal residence in the world still being used by the royal family? It's probably not in your subconscious mind that Buckingham Palace was built in 1703, but you may not realise or remember that an infamous brothel was formerly on this site. The castle is also believed to be one of the most haunted places in the UK. We've produced a video on this and you can kindly find out on this channel. The ghosts of Henry VIII, Queen Elizabeth I, George and Charles I are among many believed to be haunting this palace. 12. Queen's Limitation. Here's one. One of the strangest historical facts is that Berengaria of Navarre had never once stepped on English soil. Oh, you wonder why that's strange? She was married to King Richard of England. Here's another shocker. Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was banned from entering the House of Commons. As the sovereign of the UK, she held a special place in the country's political system. Despite her prominent role, that was one of the limitations to her power and privileges. Why was she not allowed to enter the lower house of the UK Parliament? For a simple yet significant reason. She was not a member of the House. 11. Tea drinking. We love the English who are proud to identify themselves as tea addicts. No apologies, however, to anyone, as no one in the UK feels offended by the stereotype. An average Englishman drinks more tea than any average person of any other nation. It's estimated that the British drink 165 million cups of tea daily. Of course, it's been called an estimate, as the respondents may not even remember how many cuppers they've gulped down today. That's over 20 times more than tea Americans drink, despite the huge population gap. In the UK, tea is by far the most famous drink. 10. Big Ben isn't a clock. What do you know about Big Ben? If you've believed that the most popular definition, including Wikipedia's description of the Elizabeth Tower of the Palace of Westminster in London, that it is the clock tower containing the Great Clock with 5 bells, you could wrongly conclude that Big Ben is a clock. And you would be wrong. The tower was nicknamed Big Ben, usurping the name that was originally applied to just the largest bell of the clock. However, contrary to the general belief that Big Ben refers to a world-famous clock, the name actually describes the name of the 13-ton bell. As for the tower itself, it is known as St. Stephen's Tower. 9. Where do they come from? And who are those? The crowd that teems in London. When you walk in the streets of London, you will see a city with a high cultural diversity, actually one of the highest in the world. You can gauge that from the fact that about 25% of the residents of London were born outside of England. The city houses more than 8 million people speaking different languages. There are at least more than 300 languages being spoken in the city. So where are these people from? That is one of the 15 things you didn't know about the United Kingdom. 8. One city, many names. What is the capital of the UK? Simple, you'd say. It's London. But if you asked the question many centuries ago, you might get a different answer. During the Roman invasion, the city was called Londinium. In Saxon times, the name was Ludenwich. During the kingdom of Alfred the Great, it was known as Ludenberg. Did you know this fact about the UK before? 7. Say no to suicide. Suicide was treated as a serious crime during the late 19th century. Anyone caught attempting to kill himself would be jailed or punished by hanging. It was enacted at the close of the century. 6. London, London. There's just so much to say about the UK capital city. There are observation wheels everywhere, but the London Eye is a unique observation wheel. Did you know it's the tallest of its kind in the world? Each rotation on the observation takes about 30 minutes. While we may not need to remind you about the Great Fire of London, you probably didn't know the extent of the havoc it wreaked havoc on the city, which necessitated massive reconstruction work. Positively strange, the casualty count was only 8. And the British Museum, the treasures contained here span 2 million years of world civilization. 5. The bridge fell down 1,000 years ago. Can you remember this nursery rhyme? London Bridge is falling down? You surely have heard it many times. Did you know that this nursery rhyme might be 1,000 years old? London Bridge was destroyed during the Saxon era. The Saxons destroyed it by tearing it down with boats and ropes to tear it down. People think that's how the rhyme was formed. Still on bridges, what did you know about the River Thames, which flows through London? Did you know that it has over 200 bridges and 20 tunnels? This is something to keep in mind at the Tower of London. 4. The home of golf. Did you know that golf started in Scotland? Today it's considered Scotland's national sport. The game was believed to have been created in 1457. It was at some point so prevalent that King James II had to ban it due to its interference with the army's practice. 3. The irony of wars. There was a war between Britain and the Zanzibar Sultanate in August 1896. It lasted only 40 minutes. That was the shortest war ever in modern history. One British sailor was injured while there were more than 500 casualties at the other end. British soldiers were told to eat plenty of carrots during World War II to improve their vision at night. It was a gimmick to fool them so they wouldn't realise that enemies had developed the radar system. 2. Strange stories. Legends and myths involving ghosts, monsters and mysterious creatures are common in the UK. Many British have claimed to have been to a haunted place. London Bridge is one such place in addition to Buckingham Palace. There were several accounts of those who claimed to have heard the voice of a woman roaming the area in the night. Loch Ness, or shortly Nessie, has similar stories of ghost hunting. 1. The Scotland flag. Every flag has a reason behind its design. The Scottish flag, featuring a white cross over a blue background, according to a legend, is a symbol of the shape of clouds that formed during the war between Scotland and Angles, a tribe of Germanic invaders. It's now your turn to join in the conversation. Please, which of these facts about the UK aren't strange to you? Kindly, let's continue this conversation in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.